Welcome to This Podcast is Making Me Thirsty, the number one destination for Seinfeld fans. This is Two Up and Two Down. Here's our producer, Chris, to start us off.
Welcome back to another episode of Two Up and Two Down. Today we have the Season 8 episode, The Little Jerry. And Tony, we're going to start it off with you.
All right, Season 8. And I'm going to give my up in this one to kind of a nod to earlier episodes. We all know, if you followed us for this long, that I love George behind a desk. Now, this is not your typical George behind a desk. It's not Sokol, it's not Penske. It's not any of these things, right? It's not this. It's not the hats from the Conversion, right? But it's a tad nod to George behind a desk talking to the parole board about the girlfriend and, plotting schemes, getting together with the gang. He's trying to do his thing there to make sure she doesn't get out. Got to find ups in a Season 8 episode. That's my up, is that George conversation with the parole board, kind of is slipping in his little lines about the girl, possibly, she's scheming, getting the gang together, that whole thing. That's my up for this episode.
All right. Very good one there, Tony. Chris, over to you. What do you have for your first up?
First up is Marcelino. I thought he was a really fun guest star. Miguel Sandoval has done great things out of his career. I loved it. He was in a good amount of scenes, and I loved him saying, "Big Jerry is making a big mistake, Jerry." Like, that line gets me every time. The whole accent, the whole thing, and obviously him just sort of a nemesis to Jerry, negotiating with him throughout the whole episode. So I'm going to go with Marcelino. I think he was a really, really solid guest star that seasons 8 and 9 really needed, and he delivered. So he's my first thumbs up.
All right, good one there. Tony, we'll go back to you. What do you got for your second up?
Yeah, Chris took one of mine there. I don't have a lot written on, so that's a tough one. But I did like Marcelino. Gave me a few chuckles. He was a good character. I agree. My second up is Jerry on the phone with his parents. The $50 check. His mom's, you need money. We'll send you money. We'll send you $50. You're not sending me $50. If you send me, Jerry gets all agitated, mom, yelling at her. That's my second up. You got, this is the whole Season 8 and 9 thing is they try and bring in the parents, bring in Peterman when you can to try and spruce up an episode and give it something. It kind of worked here. I thought Jerry on the phone with his parents on the $50. It sort of worked, and I kind of like Jerry. Whenever he yells at his parents about that kind of stuff, it's always funny. Don't send me $50. So that's my up on this one.
Yeah, it was brief with the Seinfelds, but effective, and they didn't need to draw them out throughout this episode. So yeah, that's a good up there. Chris, what do you got for your second up?
Second up, I'd say star of the show, Little Jerry Seinfeld. I love that little rooster. I loved when he's working out with Jerry in his gray Nike sweatshirt. Little Jerry's a mean, lean pecking machine, and the whole, he ran from here to Newman's in under 30 seconds. I forget the whole line. Is that good? I don't know. So for me, the workout scenes, Kramer and Jerry kind of talking about how tough little Jerry is. For me, I got to go with that as my second up. Little Jerry.
I would never have guessed. So, all right, very good. Tony, we're going to now go over to Downs. What do you got for your first?
Yeah, there's plenty. My first down, and it's probably at least a third of the episode, if not more, is, and not so much the actor. I mean, we'd have him on the show and great guy, but Elaine's boyfriend and that whole storyline. I mean, it's half the show at least, right? I mean, I said a third, but I think it's more than that. I mean, just George coming over to him and swimming at the whole swim team. I shaved my head, and it's, you know what? Maybe I'm cheating here. It's really Elaine's storyline, I guess, with the boyfriend, but the whole fucking thing. And then, he'd be the guy I would talk to, and it's horrible. It's just bad. It's a bad storyline, and it takes up half the episode. It's all about this boyfriend. He's going bald, and he shaved his head, and Elaine's got the driver's license. Terrible, 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 terrible. That's my down. I don't have much else to say about it. That's it. That's the whole shebang there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have an actor like John Michael Higgins, and he's playing Kurt in this episode, Elaine's boyfriend. They could have found a better, character for John to play. So, yeah, I agree with that. Chris, over to you. What do you have for your first down?
The beauty of this show is we're probably going to land on the same grade, but I completely disagree so far with his ups and downs. I mean, Tony's ups are my downs. I wrote here, Jerry's parents calling in to send him $50. I mean, desperation is what that reeks. Now, I'll give you an example. Jerry's parents in the lip reader, which I think was season 5, they just call in. They don't show them. They call in. They say they saw George eating the ice cream. Boom. That was it. To have a whole extra scene of showing them, I don't know. I didn't like it. So forced. But welcome to season 8. That's what they thought the Pink Cats fans wanted, Morty and Helen. Zero need for that. And again, it relates to the bounce checks. I mean, they mention 3 mentions of the bounce checks in the first scene. 3 first scene. Beating a dead horse. And, I probably have a bunch here, but just to piggyback, because he says he loved the George scene. I mean, I thought the George stuff was as bad as it got. I mean, dating a convict and the convict looked like Marilyn Monroe. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know why he was there for the foundation. It was just like, again, forced just so they can use, conjugate visit like jokes. I mean, God, I'm looking at this grade. I might have to change it. But really, George was a huge, huge miss. And him just like always running out of the apartment. Didn't like it. So again, I mentioned 2 there just because I had to negate Tony's 2 ups. So those are my first downs.
Tony, back to you. What do you have for your other down here?
Yeah, a lot there. I think Chris is right. I think we're on the same grade. I mean, we're trying to find ups and downs, right? I think, my point, I think I made the point that I think they forced the parents in there, but I still like the line. I still like Jerry. If I got to find an up, it made me laugh, kind of. I get his point though as well. And I think, as he mentioned, we'll probably land in the same place when it's all said and done. I don't love anything about this episode, to be honest with you. If I need another down, and I mean, it's the whole. I mean, there's so many. It's just the whole episode just falls flat to me. I think if I had to call out a down, though, it's George's storyline. Conjugal visit sex. That's a good slip-in line that may be used at some point in Seinfeld, where it's like, hey, conjugal visit sex, that'd be something, right? Maybe. But to build an episode around it, to build George going there and he's eating lunch with talking to the security guard and trying to warden, and maybe I'll catch a fight in the shower. The whole thing, bad. I mean, it's a Costanza storyline that's at the bottom of Costanza storylines. I'm sorry, it's just terrible. I mean, that's my down. It's an entire Costanza storyline. It's everything about it. It's going to the prison, think he's going to see a shower fight, everything. Just terrible. Forcing a George line. Don't love it, and that's my down.
All right, so Tony, thank you for that. So we're going to go over to Chris. What do you got for your second down?
Yeah, I gave a multitude of downs on my first down, but I'll wrap it up. And I know America loves this scene, the final scene, the slow motion, the yelling at the end. Kramer and Elaine, stop the fight! And then George, I know America loves it, but again, this is the George I I did not fall in love with. So him yelling, "Tamale!" Sorry, America. Second down.
Yeah, I see that too. And if I had it down, I'd be like the cops mistaking Kurt for George. I mean, if the guy would have showed him his ID, they could have easily have figured out who was who. But yeah, good point with the cockfighting scene at the end there. So let's wrap this up. We got Little Jerry and Tony. What's your grade here?
Yeah, I mean, we're all over the place here. I didn't even really give probably my best down I've given. I think the episode is kind of just one of those ones that's just like, as Chris mentioned, it lives with Pink Hat fans. You know what? This is one of those episodes that lives with memes. Jerry with the boxing gloves and the rooster. Kramer walking the rooster is a great little clip, right? You got a lot of these clips that are good, and it's a Little Jerry episode, so we all love it because of those kind of things where it's just like those little things. Oh yeah, the rooster episode, right? But the episode is not good. That's the problem here. So the whole litmus test of am I watching it? No, I'm probably not. Right? If I turned it on at the end, and we've disagreed on this before with Chris. I don't hate the tamale line. I mean, only because it's something. You gave me something finally, but the episode, and I probably should go lower, but the episode's a D. I think I'm giving Little Jerry, I'm giving Marcel a little more credit than probably they deserve. I don't like anything really. There's nothing redeeming about this episode, but it's not an F. Only because in a weird way, the sentimental value of a season 8 episode of just having the rooster and Kramer holding the rooster and walking the rooster. And, I mean, that's what we're doing here, right? I got to give it something, a D for the Little Jerry.
Okay. And Chris, over to you. What's your grade here?
Yeah, I changed my grade as we had this conversation. But I think sentimentality plays a part, and even the walking the thing and the working out, it's got to count for something. Because at the end of the day, you're investing 22 minutes into this thing, and those are enjoyable moments. So let's be honest, right? And you guys are tough on John Michael Higgins. I didn't mind him that much. Like, it didn't bring down the episode. But again, when George Costanza brings down an episode, he brings it down, and he's a big anchor. I thought everyone else was okay. You give Fs to when Elaine and George are really down, and I don't think she was really, really down in this one. So D+ for the season 8 Little Jerry.
That's a D and D+ for the Little Jerry, and that wraps up that season 8 episode. So thank you guys, and we'll see you at the next one.